A real thing about summer break for kids is that learning and motivation do drop off. And if you don't want that happening all summer long, it's good to heed the tips we're about to share now from Dr. Fumi Stephanie Hancock. She is a self-help author and a trauma care expert, joining us now with great ideas for keeping kids sharp all summer. Dr. Fumi, it's so great to have you along. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yes, I think this is something as parents and grandparents we worry about every year. It's like, we feel like summer kind of undoes everything that kids learn. Do you find that happens when you work with families?
Absolutely. A lot of my kids are in the middle of taking their test, their final test. So everybody's all hyped up right now. So their parents are really looking for ways that they can kind of tone things down as soon as they're done with their testing and exams.
Yes, yes. Well, you gave us some tips that we're going to share and put on the screen for folks. Your first tip is to get away, which is it's a great time of year to do that when the kids are done, to give them a change of scenery. Explain a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. A lot of our kids, especially with this pandemic, many of them are they've done their classes in the house, they've done it on ground, they've been cooked up in the house. So it's good to change scenery. They do not want to stay in-house, which they've done for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't even matter if it's outside of the state. It could just be within the state. As long as you're changing scenery, doing something away from something that they're already used to, their regular everyday routine, they're all for that.
Yes, give them a break. And parents need it too. I mean, we all need the break. Finding purpose, that's something we all need, and kids need it too, don't they?
Absolutely. Now, well, here's the thing: if a kid does not have anything to do, you're looking for trouble. That's trouble right there. Mm-hmm. So our kids are very inquisitive. So you want to keep them busy at the same time entertained. So it's important that for you to be able to grab and hold on to their attention, you need to give them a purpose, something that they can latch onto and say, "Yay, this is mine," even though you gave them the idea, but they can look at it and say, "Wow, we love this."
That's good. That's good. Now, sometimes people just say, "Well, I'll just send my kids to summer school." You say some education is good, like put in some kind of learning. What would you advise on that?
Well, education is always good, right? But we have kids that are all burnt out right now, right? So we want to make sure that we're teaching them in different ways. It could be in the way of where you take them. It could be in the way of just books, that if they love to read books, find something that they love to do and incorporate education in it. I have some of my kids actually visit a bookstore and get to pick a book on just any topic that they love to do. So education is important as long as it's different from the kind of education that they're receiving in the classroom.
Okay, that's good, because sometimes kids don't even realize they're getting an education. They're having fun, but they are learning. They're learning something, right?
Absolutely. We, even us as parents, when we were younger, right? Some of our parents, give us ideas indirectly, without feeling like, oh, we came up with the idea, but it was our parents that actually came up with it.
Well, Stephanie, Dr. Fumi, I'd like to skip to one thing about the electronics. I know you have a lot to say about that. Kids and their phones now and their devices and their gaming. Well, how can you limit that? What's the best approach?
Well, often what I do tell my families that I work with is, if you have kids that are into their telephones, you want to give them like maybe 1 or 2 hours after dinner. And then if for example, they go to bed at 9 o'clock, you want to shut everything down around 7 o'clock, because if you do not, they're going to go in bed with their brains still very, very active. Mm-hmm. And when they're not getting enough rest, guess what? They wake up agitated, irritated, don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to do nothing. So it's important that, yes, electronics is great, but at the same time, we have to use it effectively, because if we do not use it effectively, it can literally lead to anxiety and even stress. just take the time to shut it down at least 1 to 2 hours before they close their eyes.
I see that you've advised age 5 and under should be limited to 1 hour a day, and 6-year-olds up to no more than 2 hours a day. So kids that young, are not necessarily on a phone, but they're playing games. Anything that has a screen, anything that's electronic, is what you say we should limit and monitor. So, Dr. Fumi, we're putting your information on screen right now. You have a lot of resources on that site, and so we invite you to go visit there. And I hope you have a happy summer. Thanks for all you do in advising families and parents and kids. Thank you, Dr. Fumi.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.